Welcome to Who Are We to Podcast, the podcast where we are experts at virtually
nothing.
I'm Johnny.
And I'm Steve. And with us today is our very special guest, Joseph M.
We're going to ditch our no last names thing.
Yeah, I just went with it because I don't know how to pronounce your last name.
Oh, good.
How do you pronounce your last name, Joe?
Melodic.
Is it melodic?
It really is.
I think I've heard people say melodic.
It's been a topic of controversy for at least 37 years now.
Oh, okay. So melodic it is?
I usually just go with whatever people say.
And he is the musician known as...
Noctilucant.
And also the vlogger known as...
The Inner Sanctum.
Alright. That's what we're going to talk about today.
That's right. But first...
Oh.
I'm going to read a little ad copy.
Oh, shit. We got ads.
I'm going to set it up by saying that anybody can buy ad copy. You don't have to own a business. No. You don't have to be an entrepreneur. You can just have a message that you want to be permanently put out there for the world to hear. Here's one of those messages.
We'll gladly take your money for beer.
All right. Breast cancer sucks. If you have ever known anybody to be inflicted with this motherfucker of a disease, then you know the physical, emotional, and financial toll it can take on a person and a family. Consider helping one such family by going to www.fuckcancerbravebetty.com. Your donation will go to helping out Betty, who is, as the website implies, a woman who is bravely fighting cancer. Your donation will help Betty and her family with the financial burden of this cunt of a disease. Remember, folks, we live in America, where both cancer and medical care fucking suck. Again, that's www.fuckcancerbravebetty.com. So yeah, just like that.
All right.
Doesn't cost much, and we will say pretty much anything you want us to say.
Yes, it is up to our discretion. Like, if you're some sort of weird fucking troll and we actually realize it, we're just going to take your money and be like, yeah, we got it.
Yeah. I figure like just a solid no hate speech rule, and then I think that's probably it. Right?
All right, that's fair enough.
We'll take your money and say whatever you want us to say, as long as it doesn't promote, like, hate crime or anything like that.
That's speaking of hate crimes.
Yeah, what do we got?
Oh, I was just are we doing the other ones then?
What? Oh no, yeah, we'll spread them out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to do the thing we talked about, or just
what did we talk about? I don't remember.
The back and forth.
Oh, for the ads?
Yeah.
We could try.
Oh, you got yours up?
Yeah, but we're gonna do it later.
I just said it. Are we gonna do it? Because it says brought to you by, and then you're like, oh, we can do it now.
No, I just said we'll spread them out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just forget everything you just heard. We'll beep that whole.
The reason our ads are so cheap is because this is the level of professionalism that you get. Mm-hmm. So, Joe.
Yes.
Joseph or Joe? I have always called you Joe.
Probably go with Joe then.
Okay.
Yes.
Joe. I want to start off by saying thank you, man.
Oh, of course.
Because, not just for coming here today, but for being a major influencer on what I listened to for my entire life.
Wow.
All the way back to middle school, Joe would tell me what was hip and what wasn't hip. And I remember him teaching me about, like, members of, like, Guns N' Roses and stuff like that. And telling me, like, yeah, and when I was 18, he introduced me to Nightwish, who I'd never heard of. And that shaped me. Like that, like...
Nightwish shaped you?
It did. Like, I completely... Like, I'm going to say, like, Joe introduced me to European metal. I wasn't listening to any European metal, and Joe made me, like, compilation CDs. He made me mixtapes, man. And,
aw, how sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And I always was fascinated by the fact that you just knew all this shit. Like, you just... Like, it wasn't mainstream, you know? Like, I knew about mainstream stuff because MTV was talking about it and because everybody on the school bus was talking about it. And you just knew some weird-ass European underground shit your entire life. That always blew me away.
Yeah.
But I was going to say that now it's dark ambient.
Yes.
And I don't fuck with dark ambient at all. I don't know anything about it. I'm looking to you to once again be my guiding beacon to tell me what to listen to.
Great.
You're probably going to start with yours, right?
Well,
Well,
yeah. I mean, I can sort of. I mean, do you have a general idea of what dark ambient music is?
Well, I know
Sure
what
do.
ambient music is.
Right.
Ambient's just noises, basically, right?
Well,
No, not necessarily.
No. I'm used to, verse, chorus, bridge, chorus.
Right.
Lyrics.
So, dark ambient's obviously a lot more free form and maybe even progressive, you could say. Well, yeah, it's definitely, for someone that's used to a typical song structure, it could be challenging to get into it, I think. But, it kind of depends on, how much, kind of your tolerance for, like, different and, eccentric music is, I suppose, yeah.
I mean, it's like a soundtrack comes to mind.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes,
like,
very comparable.
Yeah, and so would you say that this is something you kind of put on and listen to while you're doing something else, or do you ever sit there and just like concentrate on what you're listening to?
Well, that's the thing about some dark ambient artists, and not to sound like arrogant, but that's kind of how I made my music, because it's a little more cinematic, and there's like spoken passages in a lot of field recordings I make.
spoken passages, you said.
And which, in case you guys don't know, Steve is the one who did some guest vocals on my Oblivion to You All album. He played the part of a morose post-apocalyptic survivor who, at the end of his speech, puts a gun to his head and blows his brains out.
As you do.
Yes, as you have to do sometimes in these post-apocalyptic situations.
Yeah.
Right.
That was actually really fun.
Yeah.
Like I gave him like 10 different takes.
At least 10. Well, it was good, and like I like the one you did because you just really nailed it. It was like just what I wanted. The one where you were screaming too was pretty entertaining too. But
So like,
I heard this story once, but I want you to tell the story about
Okay.
how you recorded it.
all right. So he put something out on Facebook asking for I
Just
think
saying,
it was
like,
anybody-
voice actors,
anybody
anyone
I was
wants to
like,
do it,
I'll
yeah.
give it a shot, man. I'd love to do it. And he came to his house and he kind of played me a little bit. And he gave me the lyrics.
yeah.
And then I was just kind of trying to get a feel for what he wanted, and I wasn't really sure when I left. And my mom was out of town, which becomes relevant real soon. And then the time just kept going, and I didn't do anything. And I was like, oh shit, I got to record this. So I went to my mom's house after work, and she has a lot more land than we do, than I even do out here in the country on Boogie Woogie Avenue.
Yeah.
But just because it was like, in the evening, and like neighbors are home, like she has this room in her basement, and like there's no windows in it. So I closed the door, and like there's like an old like roll of carpeting, and I like surround myself with it, and I have my Zoom, and I just take all my takes. And then for a few of them, I was like screaming, like at the top of my lungs,
Yeah.
like in these lyrics from this guy, which probably would have sounded like
Someone
insanity.
should call the police.
Yeah, if they walked by. I gave him too many. He had notes for me. They weren't good enough.
Well, that's cool. You had a direction. You
Yeah,
had a
yeah,
vision
yeah,
for
yeah.
it. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
I totally unrelated. I just remember you introduced me to Holland Thon, by the way,
Yes.
and I fucking loved that.
The first two
album.
albums are still really great. Yeah.
With Vilest of Worms to
Right.
Dwell.
That is a great record.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But they, after that album, they didn't make a new album for like 8 years, and then
Oh.
it wasn't as good the follow up then. But those first two records were really solid. Yeah, I like those two.
Yeah. So sorry, I got you off track.
Oh,
there,
no
but
worries.
I don't know. I don't know how I would have. I'd be a totally different person if you didn't show music to me throughout my life at these various random
Right.
points. So.
Well, I would be different too, because it made me think because I got into it just because like I started reading all these zines and stuff like that, and then I was fortunate enough to have the internet in my life in the late '90s. I don't remember why, but my dad bought a computer and we had internet, and it opened up all this, gateway to all this stuff.
But this is still like pre-YouTube and stuff.
Right. This is like 1998 when I started getting into all this like European black metal and dark ambient stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about how like I say, you introduced me to Nightwish, and by today's standards, that's like, oh yeah, I'll just check it out.
Right.
But like, you were like, I have a video saved on my computer
Right.
that I want you to come to my house and
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah.
Because there's no way
get
to
it to you.
send it to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. This is when MPEGs were 600 megabytes each, and there was no way to send them. There was no like WeTransfer or anything like that back then. Yeah.
yeah, and YouTube wasn't a thing
And
yet.
what YouTube wasn't a thing at all. That was like 6 years off. Probably,
Think about it,
or
like
so.
now it's like, oh, hey, have you heard this band? And you can just throw it on YouTube and
Right.
check it out.
Give anybody a link
Yeah.
Yeah,
in
and
their pocket.
Yeah.
And you just like had access to all this music. Like you were. I remember I was just like, "How did you find this?" And you just said like, "Well, I was on Century Media Records, and I like Century Media." And I'm like, "Who does that? Who's like, oh, this is on the record label that I like, so I'm just gonna buy this album."
Yeah, a lot of stuff back then was blind purchases, and I mean, you know, a lot of stuff has been sold since then, but, you know, that's kind of how you had to, like, develop your taste back then, I guess, because, like you guys said, there was no YouTube, and there was, you know, no Bandcamp or anything like that, so, you know, you just had to take a lot of chances. And, I mean, I was young.
There were magazines, right?
Well, there was magazines, yeah, but, you know, reading a review doesn't necessarily, you know...
Yeah.
So...
Can't hear it.
Yeah, you can't hear it, right. I mean, someone in a magazine could be like, this is the greatest record ever, and then you buy it, and it's a piece of shit, well, you know, whatever. But, you know, like, yeah, I mean, you know, you had to buy a lot of, you know, just take chances, and I was living with my parents, I was still a kid, you know, so why not, you know, you know.
Excuse me.
Oh, feel free to lean into this mic a little bit more, or even...
Oh, sure.
Yeah, you're probably a little quiet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
No, that's cool.
So, yeah.
So, yeah.
We got a list of questions for you.
Oh, fabulous.
Joe, why don't you tell us where we got the list of questions?
Yeah, we got you wrote them yourself.
No, I did not. I posted on my Facebook page. I'm doing this podcast thing with some friends. If you guys have some questions, send them in. And
oh, cool.
A couple of friends, or a couple people, friends, other dark ambient composers send me.
Did you share this on your Noctilucant page?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Noctilucant.
Yes.
Is that how you say it?
Nosferatu?
Noctilucant.
Noctilucant.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's open for interpretation, so it's a made-up word, so really whatever you want.
Knock till I can't.
Knock till you can't.
You keep on knocking, but you can't
Come home.
loosen. Right on.
Okay, we got the list of questions. I want to find my favorite one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was, do you believe in the supernatural?
Yes.
Like ghosts and stuff?
Yes. You guys want to hear a ghost story?
Yes.
Asked and answered. Moving on. No, I'm just
Ghost stories.
Yes.
So this is a totally true story, and I've told this to a lot of people, and some people are like, dude, this is bullshit, and some people are like, whoa, really? So...
All right.
Well, your experiences are true to your perception.
No, this was a real thing.
Oh, okay,
This is a totally real thing. So I was working a property management job. This was back in, I want to say, the winter of 2013. Or was it 2014? I don't know. It was that one winter we had where it
4 or
was
5 years ago.
just ridiculously cold the whole
5 or 6
winter. It
years
was like
ago.
5 below every single day. I don't know if you guys
Back
remember.
before global warming.
Right, before global warming, before it was
before
45 degrees in mid-January. Yeah,
It hit 50 today,
it
didn't
did
it?
hit 50 today.
Love it.
So anyway, I was working this property management job where I basically had to go into houses in not so good part of town and fix them up, get them ready to rent. That was my job. So me and my partner we were working with, we had to go there and do painting, patching holes, all kinds of things. But I'm in the upstairs area, and this is like an old Victorian house. It would have been a beautiful house, but it's gone to ruin, you know? So I'm up there in this upstairs, hanging some blinds, and suddenly I hear these kids laughing. And I'm thinking to myself, like, what the heck? It's like 5 degrees below zero outside. How am I hearing these kids upstairs? And it sounded like it was coming from the room. So I'm just like kind of like, and I just kept doing what I was doing. I think I had to do some painting later on. I started rolling some paint, and I'm still hearing like this like giggling, like a little boy and a little girl giggling.
That's creepy.
Right.
Whoa.
So then when this was all going on, my partner, he was off at Menards buying some supplies, and he comes back, and I was like freaked. I was like downstairs, just kind of sitting in like I guess what was probably the living room or something like that. And I'm like, dude, there's something with this house. And he's like, oh, you met the kids, huh? I'm like, dude, what are you talking about, dude? And he's like, I was here yesterday when you had off, and I was upstairs too, and I heard him too. And I'm like, dude, fuck off. What are you talking about, dude? And he's like, 100% serious, this house is haunted, all right?
Just a couple kids or like a lot of kids?
It was definitely just a boy and a girl, a little boy and girl.
So you heard this, and then this guy came back, and then he brought it up before you could tell him.
He knew what I was talking about.
Wow, that's
yeah.
fucked.
So then the very next day we had to go back there for some more stuff, and I was in that same bedroom, I think finishing the painting, and suddenly the closet slammed really quickly. And I mean, there's no way. There was no windows open. It just slammed, and later on I heard the kids giggling again.
Wow, man.
And I mean, we weren't doing drugs or anything. It was, we were totally sober. It was very.
Do you remember the address of this house?
It was on 35th and Mount Vernon.
Okay.
If you guys want to go see it sometime, I can show it to you.
Oh, so you remember it vividly.
Vividly, yes.
That's funny that you said kids. I've told a few people this, but not many, because I'm all weird about this stuff. Like, I don't know. But when I was a kid here, sleeping in this house in the middle of nowhere, like a lot of times in the middle of the night, well, I was a kid then, so probably like, 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock.
Right.
I would hear children playing, like just like outside, like a bunch of kids playing, giggling, laughing, and playing. That was the weirdest thing. It always creeped me the fuck out.
Yeah, that's weird, man.
I have no explanation for it because it was late.
Yeah.
I should have been sleeping, and I hear all these fucking kids playing outside.
If people ask me if I believe in ghosts, and the closest thing to a black and white yes or no answer is no. But I think where I stand is, I believe that everything is real. Like that's not like nothing is not real, right? Everything's real, right? Like, and so like I like to use the word natural. Like
nothing is real.
Like everything is natural. If it's unnatural, then it doesn't. If it's supernatural, then in my opinion, it's not real. But if we're using supernatural to represent, we have no fucking way of explaining this, then that's I don't feel like that's the right use of the word. So like I believe something could be natural that we can't explain yet. Figure like ancient Greeks didn't know what the fuck lightning was,
right.
And so it must be like Zeus throwing
It's magic.
bolt. Guess we'll sacrifice like our lambs or whatever until like the rain stops. But like, but it was like meteorology just wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
So it's like there was no way to know what the hell lightning was. That didn't make lightning supernatural. It just meant we didn't know what it was. Now, so if somebody asks me like, do you believe in ghosts? Like, I'm not gonna be like hard no, but because like if I fucking heard kids running around in an empty house and there was no explanation for it, I'm not gonna be like, that's not real.
Yeah.
It was real, right? Like
I definitely heard it.
You heard it. Your friend heard it.
Yeah.
Like, it's you don't have an explanation for it, but that doesn't mean it's not real.
Yeah.
And so I would go as far as to say what you heard was not supernatural, and by semantics,
Okay, so you were just waiting to ask him that question so you could give him that. It wasn't supernatural at the end.
Well, so I guess I often wonder, what do people mean when they say supernatural?
I have no idea.
So people will be like, oh yeah, like I believe in aliens. Like no, if aliens are real, they're natural.
Even the idea of them, they're not supernatural, right? They're just beings from another.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's like if there's an explanation for aliens,
then
there's an explanation.
Right.
It's natural. It's not supernatural. But people will lump aliens into the supernatural. They're like, oh yeah, aliens, ghosts.
I've never run into that.
Yeah, like, well, I guess it's like, oh, I can't explain it, so I'll say it's supernatural. I like to play ignorant and just be like, I don't know how anything fucking works.
Like
we're
just too dumb to understand it.
It's either real or it isn't real. Oh, that was my question. Do you have any favorite questions on there, Steve?
Well, I mean, I like how somebody asked you. They're like, your favorite alcohol. What's your favorite alcoholic beverage?
My favorite alcoholic beverage.
And then they follow it up like, if it's whiskey, why?
No, if it's whiskey, which one? Very leading question.
I like a lot of beer. I wouldn't necessarily say I have a favorite or one I buy more often than usual. I do enjoy this coconut porter.
Speaking of beer.
I do enjoy this coconut porter we are indulging in right now.
Oh, who's this by?
That's by City Lights.
Oh, and are they local?
They are local, in fact.
Oh, are they in, local for more Johnny lives?
You're getting confusing.
Yeah.
In the great city of Milwaukee.
Yes.
With,
you mean the one that Mayor Tom B heads?
Yeah. We should just keep calling him Mayor Tom B.
Yeah, I like it. It's got a nice ring to it.
Fill you in if you haven't.
What up, Tom B?
Yeah, I feel like I'm missing something.
Okay, so we never used to use last names because we were trying to be anonymous, and then we realized
I'm a
that
paranoid idiot.
Absolutely everyone knows who we are, and we use Facebook, so our names are there and everything. So, but we were for a while we were like, we want to get the mayor of Milwaukee on as our guest and ask him absolutely no political questions whatsoever. Just being like
Just hang out
what's
with
the
him.
worst movie you've ever
Yeah.
seen, you know, and stuff like that. Just learn who the human is, not the
What's-
politician.
yeah.
The worst movie you've ever seen that you love, like your favorite bad movie.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I want to know
That's a
that
good
answer.
one.
That's a good one. Should I ask you that next?
I'm getting there. I'll take it from you though.
But yeah, so we still call him Mayor Tom B.
Gotcha.
Like we're trying to keep his last name anonymous, but
Wait,
we're
wait,
also
wait. You mean Mayor Tom B, the mayor of Milwaukee?
right.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin?
Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the mayor Tom
Wisconsin?
B.
Wisconsin?
We'll get him on here eventually.
Yes.
Wisconsin?
Okay.
So your favorite alcoholic beverage is beer?
But
Yeah.
we had such a
I
great
drink-
transition to talk about the beer.
Oh,
and
yeah, yeah. So speaking of that, but then you went off about the mayor, so I was
Yes.
bringing it back by
Well, you were doing something, so I was just
asking
filling
the
time.
question. So this is City Lights, which have we talked about this one before? I should start keeping
I would
track.
love for City Lights to give us some beer and money,
Oh yeah.
and then have an official City,
City
Lights month.
month. Yeah, that'd be great with a
But
different beer each.
we'll give them the freebie today, I think.
Well, we're not opposed to doing that because we're gonna drink anyway,
Mm-hmm.
and we're gonna drink local anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least the ones we talked about. We have had some non-local beers here.
Can I tell the story of how I first tasted this beer?
Please.
Yeah.
We were at Crafts and Drafts.
Oh boy.
Oh.
You mean Discount Liquors, Crafts and Drafts?
Discount Liquors, Crafts and Drafts at
Discount Liquor Inc.
Serb Hall.
Yes.
Yeah, and I was pretty deep in to trying a lot of beer that day,
Balls deep.
and just heavily alcoholic beer, not
Yes.
just Miller Lite or something.
No, I don't even. I highly doubt you could find that there.
No, you couldn't.
They would-
Well, no, Miller was there,
They were, but they weren't
Yeah.
slanging. What did they had a name for themselves? We've talked about this before.
like the basement or something.
Yeah, it was weird.
So we went to the beer fest a couple of years ago. I'm pretty sure Miller was there.
Yeah.
I don't think there was a lot of people by their tent necessarily because everyone was there for the tasty craft beers.
We tried to understand what they were telling us, and I think what we deciphered is that they have like a microbrewery department. That
Yeah, they have
exists.
these like 3 or 4 people that work there, and they just let them do whatever the fuck they want, but it's never going to market. They just
Right.
take it to these
It
events.
just exists so that they can get into like these festivals.
Yeah, like look, we have people that like beer and make good beer still.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, it's weird.
But anyways, Steve is chatting it up with like every vendor,
Yeah.
and I'm just going like drink, and I get to
Was this year's or last year's?
this is the only one I've been to,
Oh shit. Okay, so yeah, last 2018.
and
By the way, it's coming up.
and I went up to this booth, and I tried this, and I said, "Holy shit!"
Oh my god.
And here's why:
Why?
because
Oh,
I got like half a boner when I tasted it.
that's a.
It is pretty good damn beer.
Half a
Wait.
stock. No, but like a legitimate arousal. from
I had
drinking
a
it.
very similar experience. Well, not the boner, but
The
something
boner.
comparable.
Here's it wasn't a full on erection, but here's what happened: is like how like
half mass over here.
a scent, senses, your senses, like they
Yeah.
can bring back memories, and the sense of smell is one of the strongest memory triggerers there is.
Yes.
And it brought me back to like puberty on vacation, and the girls around the pool are putting the coconut suntan lotion on. And it's just, and I just was like instantly, just the taste and smell of the coconut, and I was just like,
You were there.
I was there, man, and I was like, I love the way this beer makes me feel.
That's beautiful.
So this beer reminds you of like suntan lotion and pool water.
What's funny is that I was just recently talking to a bartender of an establishment, which I will keep anonymous.
What does it start with? Was this yesterday?
No.
Okay.
No. And he says he has it on tap right now, and he says that everyone that tries it either loves it or hates it. And I said, who hates it? He says the people that think it tastes like suntan lotion. And I'm like, that's funny because that's what I actually like about it, So
Yeah, I do. Floating can there. So what do you taste?
puberty.
Alright, that's a dirty beer.
No, just
Yeah.
the coconut is just really strong.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it's terribly strong.
Not in the taste, but when you bring the glass up to your nose and
Yeah,
It's very, very
the
strong.
smell, is-
very strong in the nose.
Yeah, and I think that's the trigger for me is that smell of suntan lotion.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't taste like suntan lotion, so
So you're saying you've tried suntan lotion?
I don't think I have.
Oh, okay.
No, but
You're not like John Paul. You don't eat stuff.
Wait, what did John Paul do? He ate suntan lotion?
No, he used to eat stuff that smelled good.
God, I
We
hope
all.
he's watching right now.
And then he's like, "Whoa, this is bad! What do you think, dude? It's freaking like, it's like eye washed. What do you think, dude?"
Oh, that can. Wow. That'll mess you up. Holy crap.
Oh,
So anyway,
yeah.
this comes in at a nice drinkable 5.3. Yeah, there's coconut, a little coffee, a little chocolate.
Smooth and
It's
wonderful.
got a really, really wonderful mouthfeel.
Oh my
Very
goodness.
smooth.
And that's probably where the lotion.
Yeah, you could put a little, rub it in real good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, lovely.
I may use some of this by myself later.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh, now we're just getting dirty.
Yeah, that's how we do it.
Yeah, good.
So yeah, City Lights, we want you to be our official sponsor. This is how we do.
Oh wait, we have a question. We have a question.
All right.
I believe you know this person intimately.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
I'd like to ask Joe, what is our game plan if the Bone Collector comes for us?
The bone collector?
Yes.
Oh, well, I suppose I have to tell a little backstory here.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
what that means.
I don't know.
So, this guy, he saw my vlog after, I think, the first episode. His name is Adele. We won't say his last name. We'll call him Adele S. He's from Florida, and he does this music project where all the sounds in it, it's all created using human bones.
Oh, right on. That sounds
So
awesome.
it's very, like, a lot of percussion kind of stuff, and just,
Yeah.
like rubbing bones together and making all these cool sounds, and it's, like,
I
manipulated.
think I've seen a video.
Maybe I posted something on my Facebook?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I swear I've seen a video of some guy playing a bunch of bones.
Oh, yeah.
The project's called 156. I don't know what that means. I never bothered to
Are
ask.
there 156 bones in the human body?
Beat the rhythm.
I
There's
don't
more
know.
than that, are there?
I'm pretty sure there's a lot more than that.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the relevance of the band name is, but he got in contact with me and he sent me this record, and it's just ridiculously chilling, just like dark, ritualistic, fucking spooky shit, dude. Like I don't know how else to put it into like perspective. It's really creepy. And then when you kind of know that it's all human bones that he used, it's just like, all right,
They're 206.
there you go.
so, yeah.
So a little off with the 156 then. Well, anyway, he has our address, and my dearest Kara is very concerned that he's going to come and harvest our bones one day.
But
Oh.
what a great story that would be.
Yeah, it really would be. Dark ambient composer slayed by other experimental composer in this weird ritualistic thing.
I remember.
So, but what is your plan? She's not asking what's going to happen if he shows up.
I don't know. Get the shotgun out, I guess, if he comes at us with like some big cleaver or something. I
If
don't
you
know.
got time for that, you got to have that thing at the ready, man.
That's right. It's
gotta
upstairs
be
in the
spread.
attic, I think. So
Yeah, and maybe keep a nice small caliber on you.
you gotta get a little 8mm and just
I mean,
keep it
this
like
is-
in my slipper or something.
Bill Burr's idea. You don't want like a hand cannon in your house because it's gonna fuck up
you
your
gotta do
eardrums.
drywall.
Yeah.
Now you gotta redo all the drywall.
Yeah, you want to carry
Yeah.
around a 22 so you can still hear, and they're
Yeah.
still gonna be scared because you're shooting at them.
Right. Well, we do have a giant broadsword mounted on our wall too, so I could rip that off and get him with
There
it.
you
Are you
go.
handy with that? Have you practiced with
Yeah,
it?
it's it's about 40 pounds, but I can swing it and lop someone's head off if need be. If they, I mean, the timing's got to be pretty good to take the head off, I suppose. But
maybe just
I mean-
just go with a crowbar or a bat.
yeah.
Just in every room, just have a crowbar right in the doorway.
If nothing else, I'm just gonna wrestle the guy to the ground. But I don't think he's.
I'm assuming he's gonna show up with needles in hand. Ready
Right.
to
He's
inject.
probably gonna want to not. Yeah.
So you don't want to wrestle.
I think because there's two of you.
Yeah, we might
one
be
of
okay.
him.
Well, I mean, he's just
One
gonna
of
do
you's
it when
gonna
they're.
die, and the other one's gonna.
Yeah.
evacuate
He's just
the
gonna
other
do it when they're sleeping and inject them, and they're not gonna even know.
Yeah.
one.
Well, the good news is he's in Florida. He's nowhere near Wisconsin, so.
Thank God. There's
But
no way to get
actually,
here
you
from
know what?
Florida.
You know what? We're fucked. He's a truck driver,
Oh yeah, he's coming.
so he's
for
gonna
you.
probably kill us.
That's
Yeah.
yeah. That's definitely what he's doing to get all these
Yeah.
fucking bones.
Yeah. This reminds me. You guys ever see that movie from the Tom Hanks, the Burbs? Where,
Yes.
Yeah, that's a great movie. Where
It's really weird. We was just talking about that a couple of weeks ago
Yeah.
because, well, no offense if somehow they're watching this. I have these new neighbors. Never seen them.
Right. Isn't that weird? We had some of those too when we first moved into our house.
There's always the blinds are always closed. There's barely ever any lights on.
Yes. Yeah.
We just got a new question.
Oh, okay.
Mike L says, Johnny, too many mini sips. Serious question. Can you kill that beer in some sort of epic way right now?
The last time I was at Central Waters, I shotgunned a goddamn tall boy.
Mike L,
You want to shotgun a beer, Johnny?
no. No, I
Have
don't.
you ever done that?
Is that where you stab it with your keys and then you...
Keys.
I don't know. You stab it, right?
Stab it with a knife.
I don't think you want to clean up a shotgun beer down here, right?
Well, you don't spill it on the floor. You put it in your body.
Seems like I would screw it up on the first try.
I'll teach you how.
I don't want to do it.
All right.
But
the answer is no, then, Mike.
Mike, no, I'm not shotgunning any beer, but this is not a slammable beer, right?
You can slam anything, Johnny.
Yeah.
It's a stout. You don't.
I
slam
shotgunned a
stout.
sour.
I wouldn't slam it personally, but you know,
I did because I don't
if
like
you're gonna give it
sours.
the pure pressure, you might as well.
All right, this is for Mike L.
God, what took so long? It's not whiskey.
It's actually that lotion-like smoothness just goes right
Just
down.
right
This
down.
is right down the head.
Yeah.
There was nothing wrong with chugging that. I actually enjoyed it.
I love that he's paying attention to how quickly you're drinking your beer, though.
All beer is slammable.
And a little concerned.
I want to comment that we had Brave Betty chimed in earlier
Yes.
from the ad to say thanks. And I want to say, hey, Brave Betty, don't thank me. Thank your boy, Nicholas H. Happy birthday, Nick H., for buying that ad.
Cara approves, by the way.
Oh, good.
She senses a true crime podcast, content brewing or something like that.
Yes, yeah,
That's what she
definitely.
said.
She loves these true crime,
Oh.
serial killer podcasts. She listens to them quite frequently.
All right. When we're done talking about the beer, we have a question from Infant Exuma.
Oh, great.
Oh, no. Well,
If-
are we done talking about the beer?
I don't know. What do you think? Did you give 2 cents?
Do you want to
What's your
describe
favorite
the beer? Did you want to?
This beer?
Yeah.
Oh no, you summed it up pretty well with the lotion.
It puts the beer on its skin.
It
It gets the
does.
hose again.
Yes.
Well, he did. Put that away then.
Whoop. What's
So let's go.
Infant Exuma.
Infant.
Explain the different styles, crossovers of dark ambient to them.
Oh my god, this is gonna be
To
like
us.
a 20-minute question answer. Well, maybe I should just start like telling you guys like a little bit of the history.
Well, hold on a second. Before we get into his question,
I just realized my mic stand was blocking Joe's face. So I just-
Oh.
you might be able to. You're probably gonna answer a couple of the other questions. So
Oh, okay, we'll get back to them.
maybe just go and then I'll tell you if you did.
What am I doing now?
Just answer his question or her question.
Him.
Infant's question.
Okay. So, what is the hell's the question again?
So explain the different styles / crossovers of dark ambient to Johnny and I
Well, so
and the
there's
viewers.
dark ambient music is, I guess, typically a little more chill in style. It's usually created with synthesizers, and it's usually created to like have a very like melancholy or like funeral kind of atmosphere to it, and it can be used in like lots of different ways. You could use it for like relaxing or reading or just meditating, yoga, stuff like that. That's more traditional dark ambient. There's not a whole lot going on. It's just very atmospheric and dark.
Okay.
Whereas, like, my music, and actually Infant Exuma's music, has a lot more of like a cinematic kind of touch to it, where there's like spoken passages, lots of field recordings to kind of tell a narrative, but just kind of give a vague shell of it where the listener kind of fills in the details. And that's kind of what I've tried to do with my music, where it's like, someone once compared, like, basically said my music is like an audio book where the listeners fills in the details, which is pretty cool.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a really
compliment.
nice review this guy gave. So, yeah, I mean, that's like two different styles. Cinematic dark ambient is kind of a newer thing. It's been sort of popularized by this record label called Cryo Chamber, which is based out of Oregon. And Cryo Chamber was started by a dark ambient veteran named Simon Heath, who's originally from Sweden, and then he moved to the United States about, I think, 6-7 years ago, and started this label up, and it's become enormously popular, and it's really helped to put dark ambient on the map as like its own genre, and not just like this sub genre of whatever ambient or industrial music.
Are you hooked up to them at all, or are you doing everything independent?
Well, a lot of people are sending their demos to Cryo Chamber, so there's a lot of competition.
Okay.
I have sent stuff to Simon, but he hasn't released anything by me yet.
Okay.
But I have worked with other smaller labels. But what I sort of found with working with smaller labels sometimes is that there's not a whole lot of promotion on their end. So sometimes, and I kind of got the marketing thing down myself, where if I just release myself, I can do fairly well. It's just if you work with a label, you get a physical product. And I'm old school and like that, and I like tapes, I like cassettes, and I still love vinyl. So there's a part, even though I know digital is what everyone wants nowadays, there's still a part of me that wants to release it in a physical format.
No, I
which is
get
where
that.
labels
I
come in,
understand that.
you
Even
know?
though I
Right.
97% of what I listen to is
Right, and I listen to Spotify so much myself too,
Yeah.
but I still have thousands of CDs, hundreds of records and tapes, you know, so I don't know.
Joe offered to bring a CD, and I said, honestly, I
have
don't
a
even
CD
know
player.
how I would. I don't have.
Yeah,
a
you
CD
don't have a
player.
CD player, so...
If you would have brought a record, though, I would have played it this whole time.
Oh my god. Well, I don't have any records of my music.
Well, and vinyls
Whatever.
are so expensive
Yeah,
to try to make.
it's like $2,000 if you do like a vinyl.
All right, so we're gonna keep going with I guess the list then. What got you into DA? That's what the kids are calling dark ambient these days.
Calling it DA
Out
these
there,
days.
the DA.
Well, as I recall, the first time I heard dark ambient music was back in December of 1999. I had just kind of started. Well, maybe it was even before that. I don't know, but I had been listening to this band called Emperor for a while. Yeah, I played you Emperor.
Yeah.
So Emperor had this member named Mortis in the band. I think I played you Mortis too. Maybe, I don't know.
Probably.
Mortis, he left he got kicked out of the band pretty early on during their demo rehearsal days, and he started a solo project called Mortis, where it was like these basically like just dark dungeon kind of fantasy music. And this was my first introduction to dark ambient music, and in retrospect, his music isn't really so dark ambient, but it was related to the genre, and it's what really got me going on it. And I think that was somewhere in late '99 when I got into it. But then when I got into that, it opened up this whole world of like all these bands that were already out there. There was this label called Cold Meat Industry.
Take that, Mike.
That's right. Take that, Mike. So there was this label called Cold Meat Industry. They were like the biggest like dark ambient and industrial and fucking weirdo music label out there. They went from like 1987 to I think like 2014. And
Did you say cold meat?
Cold Meat Industry, everyone. Yeah, it was. So that label went for the longest time.
Makes me want to make a delicious sandwich.
Yeah. Well, interestingly, in some of their old flyers, they used to have a picture of like a meat house and someone like stabbing a cow with a meat hook.
That kind of.
Yeah, it was really cool.
I knew they were cool.
So,
but it makes me think of cold cuts.
Right.
Delicious
Yeah.
sandwiches.
So that was a label that went for a really long time, and actually the founder of that label, his name was Roger Carmanek. He actually coined the term dark ambient in the early '90s to kind of describe a project he had on a label back then called Rosin de Itri. And
Rosin de Itri?
Rosin de Itri, yes. Which Rosin de Itri is probably one of the most well-known dark ambient projects. It's a project of this guy named Peter Anderson from Boxholm, Sweden, and he's been doing this project since like I think 1993, and still going today. And he's makes just amazing, just dark soundscapes intermingled with like sometimes with noisy soundscapes, sometimes with like sort of these like religious, like sort of these I guess like Gregorian chants and religious kind of. I don't know how to like. So it's like I don't know how to put it in perspective exactly, but this is like his older stuff. It was always had this like kind of cathedral-like kind of elements. You have to hear it to understand, maybe.
That sounds like I'd want to.
Yeah, it's something you'd really dig. Yeah. So that was his old stuff, and he's progressed a lot through it. This guy's got like 15 projects he's done over the years, and it's all kind of like experimental, electronic kind of music, basically.
Totally unrelated.
Yes.
Just remembered another band that you introduced me to that I would never know without you telling me.
What's that?
Dead Can't Dance.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, that's great stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and I just never would have heard Dead
And,
Can't
sometimes
Dance.
people even associate them with, like, dark ambient music, funny
Well,
enough.
yeah, and the something of the Seraphim or something, the song.
Oh, yeah, Dance of the Seraphim, or yeah, something like that.
Or no,
Waltz, maybe?
something of the Muse, or...
Something of the Muse.
I don't remember. Something
Yeah.
of the Muse in the title. Well, I don't know, it had like these church bells.
Right.
And
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
like just the super reverby, like... I don't know, yeah, it's really...
Oh, that's a beautiful song, yeah.
Yeah,
Lustmord.
Taming of the Muse?
Lustmord.
I'm gonna look it up now.
Lustmord.
Lustmord's another big one in the dark ambient genre. He's actually considered to be like kind of the first guy to really do dark ambient music.
Lustmord?
Yeah, it's a project from I believe Wales, and he's been doing it since like the early '80s. He's generally seen as being the creator of like dark ambient music.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite non-DA, as the kids call it, music? I'm going to say that every time.
My favorite
That's the kids
non-dark
call it.
ambient project?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a good question.
Well, I don't
No,
think.
not project, music.
Oh, my favorite, not my non-favorite.
Yeah,
oh,
not you, just what's your
you
favorite
know, that's a really tough question because I listen to so much different music.
It's Oasis, isn't it?
Well, I do still love Oasis, and I don't give a fuck what anyone says. The first two albums and all the B-sides they had on are fucking phenomenal. and I will fight someone in the ground if they want to get into it with me about that, right?
I'm not gonna argue with you.
Good, because you're going to be on the ground.
Okay.
Oasis.
You know, I'm going to come to that bar real soon. So...
This reminds me that just made me think of that Weezer SNL sketch for some reason.
Oh, yeah,
I don't know if you
I'm going to have to show me
remember
later.
that.
But yeah, I like a lot of different music. I mean, like this morning I was listening to Anthrax, Persistence of Time. And then I was listening to this shitty EBM band called Dismantled. And then I listened to Nargaross, Black Metal is Creek!
What is EBM?
Electric body music.
What the fuck is that? Oh, like people doing it themselves.
No!
Oh,
Like industrial dance music.
I don't know why body's in the title, because it makes
Yeah.
you move your body.
so it's not EDM, it's EBM.
EBM. EDM is very comparable.
Summoning of the Muse.
There you go.
That was the song. Dead Can Dance. Summoning of the Muse. You should listen to that. Go on YouTube and just instantly listen to it without having to buy a record.
Just instantly, yeah. Don't be like me and have to spend $12 on it. Or whatever I paid. How old am I? Oh my god.
We're gonna die soon.
Jesus
I'm
Christ,
old.
I'm gonna be 38 years old this year.
You poor thing.
I stopped aging at 25. I became immortal.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah, because I got my car insurance discount, and then I no longer had any need to age at that point.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you didn't have a need for it, but it's the inevitable
No, I'm gonna live forever.
march of time.
No, there's nothing that can stop me from.
We're all gonna die,
There
and
can
none
be
of
only
this
one.
matters.
I'm the Highlander.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
Can we talk about how cool the movie Highlander
Oh my
is?
It's a great fucking
The
movie.
first one is good.
The first one.
I don't know what
the
the other
second one is probably one of the worst
It's-
movies of all time.
I would agree with that.
I rather enjoyed the series on TV.
You know what? I did too,
Yeah,
but then
it's
I
pretty
went back and tried to watch it when it was on Netflix.
And-
Netflix briefly,
I like
and
Netflix.
it was real bad.
Really? Yeah. I love
It was-
just like Friday the 13th. That
Well-
was a great series. It probably sucks now.
You might not remember, but in the pilot episode of the Highlander TV show, the bad guy was Bull from Night Court. It was the actor that played Bull from Night Court.
Did he?
And
Was he like the same?
It was like you could tell it was Bull. Like it
Right.
was like.
Well, of course. I mean, it's pretty
Yeah.
unmistakable.
And it was like, but he was the bad guy. Bull
The
from Night
inimitable
Court.
Bull. I don't know his real name because he's just Bull.
I mean, I'm sure like the show got better. You know, maybe where we started watching it was like a season in or something. But the very first episode of Highlander the series is real bad.
Hey, we're 42 in. You want to do another read?
Yeah, let's read another head.
We're gonna do another read.
Or do you want to do the every other line?
Let's try it, man. Let's
Yeah,
try
give
it.
it a
Now you
shot.
got a little social lubricant flowing.
Let me get it pulled up here though.
Aye.
Keep forgetting what app I have this.
Do you want me to just turn this?
No, I got it. I got it right here.
Bigger screen. Turn your phone so you can read it.
So we did breast cancer, sex already. You
Yes.
want to do the second one?
Yes.
Well, this is okay. So you got the first one. Well, yeah, it's four of them. Every other.
Yeah, you can start if you want.
All right. Well, another preface here.
Oh, yes.
These ads are just super cheap, people. I mean, it doesn't. You don't have to be a business.
No.
You don't have to be an entrepreneur.
You don't even have to be our
You
friend.
can be pushing something or not pushing anything, but we can just read whatever you want us to read for real cheap money. Go to www.whoarewetopodcast.com and you can pay like next to nothing.
You can pay next to nothing to make us tell each other to fuck off.
Right. I mean, it's fun. It's fun. It's all
Like
good
kind
fun.
of these right here are not from a business.
This is not a business. This is good. Okay. You want me to start?
Yeah, go for it.
All right.
Get your radio voice on, or
Yeah.
just
Should we do-
or your passion. Get it.
Should we do
Grab
radio
your
voice?
balls.
Radio voice?
No, it's passion. This is a
Passion.
passionate
All right,
subject here. It's,
Who Are We to Podcast is brought to you today by the time-honored American tradition of punching Nazis.
Do you know a Nazi? I hope not. But if you do know any of these needle dick fucks, do yourself and your country a favor and punch them right in the mouth.
You'll feel better, and you'll be doing a service you'll be doing them a service by reminding these low-thinking nematoids the type of scum that they really are.
Make your grandpa proud and punch a Nazi today.
I want to read my line again so that we can like cut it up and then make like
Let's
a
just
good-
do it again.
Just do the whole thing.
Yeah,
let's do
let's
it.
take another cake. You want in?
What do I got to?
Just read a line.
Oh,
Yeah. You can do it.
Okay.
That'll be
Alright,
fun.
you can do the first line or the second line.
Oh, it's
We got a guest advert going on here.
Yeah.
it's every other bullet point.
We're gonna
Okay.
trade off.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you Which one we got? The third one?
The first one. Or the
Oh.
second
Who
one.
are we to podcast is brought to you today by.
Who Are We to Podcast is brought to you today by the time-honored American tradition of punching Nazis.
Do you know a Nazi? I hope not. But if you do know any of these needle-dick fucks, do yourself and your country a favor and punch them right in the mouth.
You'll feel better, and you'll be doing them a service by reminding these low-thinking nematoids the type of scum that they really are.
Make your grandpa proud and punch a Nazi today.
Am I saying nematoids?
Nematodes.
Nematodes.
Yeah, I've been laughing every time you say that.
Because I said nematoids.
Yeah, twice.
It's like hemorrhoids, nematoids. No, nematodes.
I mean, hemorrhoids.
Let me just read that line again real quick.
Oh, okay.
You'll feel better, and you'll be doing them a service by reminding these low-thinking nematodes the type of scum they really are.
Do you think this is exactly what they had in mind when they purchased this?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I sure hope so. I hope we deliver it there.
Yes.
I hope they buy more. I
But
hope they buy some every week.
I think it'd be nice because we can. Because here's the promotion we were doing, and I think we can extend this promotion for a little bit.
Tell Facebook.
It's called the Six Pack. It is for $15. You get 6 ads played on. No, so it's like 1 ad per episode for 6 episodes. That's or however you want it dispersed.
Well, so we're doing this 5 more times.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. and-
Nobody's gonna get sick of that. No,
But yeah, so and it's only $15, and your ad gets that's like $2.50 an ad.
Hear that, Joe?
Yes.
Buy that.
Promote my music on your podcast. Oh wait, well, I'm already here.
Yeah,
This is
exactly.
kind of working.
Oh wait.
I need to do shit.
We like these ads. We got another ad coming up later. You got don't go before we.
Okay, we'll do it before the video's up. How's that?
Yeah, that sounds good.
This is fun. So anyway, Joe.
Yes.
Excuse me. Was your past dark? If so, did it contribute to your music?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I mean, I don't know what, people would necessarily define as being dark, but, there's things that happened throughout your childhood and early 20s or whatever that contribute to, I think.
That bone collector's got a pretty good idea what dark is.
He probably does, yeah. Well, yeah, there's a small part of me that always wanted to own a human skull, too.
No, me too. That
Yeah,
seems really
for many
cool.
years, and I don't know if that's messed up or
You
not.
should ask him how to get hold of one.
Well,
There's got to be an ethical way to obtain a human
I
skull.
don't-
Right? Yeah.
well,
Like for science.
years ago on
For
eBay, I
decoration.
saw this guy in South America selling skulls. But I don't know, dude.
I wouldn't buy a strange one just because I don't want to own a skull that was like that was ill-gotten gains. I don't know. It'd be weird.
Yeah.
The blood skull. You know what I mean? Like this guy. Like he killed this guy.
Oh.
Chopped his fucking head off.
Right.
Boiled it in water, and you know what I mean. Bleached it. I don't want that. I want like a natural cause.
Yeah.
I was once told that like when you buy those skulls.
Why do we gotta bury our dead? What a fucking waste of goddamn fucking land.
Wow.
How stupid.
I've worked at a cemetery, and let me tell you, I've seen some shit.
Wait, hold on. That sounds like a story.
What?
You've seen?
Yeah,
some-
I worked at a cemetery.
I've
I've seen
Oh,
some shit.
well, I mean, it was an interesting experience because it's empty. It's in my glass.
Oh, okay.
I worked at a cemetery for about 9 months until I got fired. I'm not going to talk about that, but...
Just gonna leave that hang there? Yeah, I worked at a cemetery until I got fired.
Yeah, so it was an interesting experience because I got to be around people while they were grieving their loved ones, and I mostly had to just kind of maintain this very statue-like presence.
Yeah.
Not to say I was really affected by it, because
You didn't know these fucking idiots.
I didn't know them, I didn't really care, but it
sick.
was so kind of weird lowering their caskets into the ground,
Yeah.
or putting like urns into the ground, stuff like that, and like I always had this like, okay, so this one time a couple times I had to put the urn into the ground. I thought for sure like I was gonna trip and drop it on the ground or something, and like what would they have said, dude? Like they would have fucking kicked my ass or something.
Yeah, I would have just cried a lot.
Right? Been like, oh my god!
Or they might have just been like, it's fine, they're gone, it's just ashes, it's no big deal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, death is a part of life, but
Oh my
It's
god!
a shitty one. I
clearly need a drink quickly.
don't handle it the best either.
no.
But I don't know, I just think cemeteries are it's weird.
Well,
Just burn everything.
yeah, and I mean, I'm weird. I used to hang out in cemeteries. I used to like take
Who didn't?
selfies in cemeteries and shit.
I would just sit on them.
I used to always go to
Sit on the
cemeteries.
gravestone.
Like I used to
Have
always go to
smoke.
cemeteries when it was foggy, and I would just like chill out and like take in the misty air and stuff like that, and you know.
It's cool, man. We were all emo once.
Right. This was when I'm in my mid-20s.
So it sounds
makes
like you
sense.
might be answering the next question. What is the Noctilucant? Noctilucant
Noctilucant.
story?
Well,
Born in the graveyard.
well, I guess you know.
World.
Yeah, it was. Well, I'm not sure if he's talking about the origins of the project or like the story itself.
Not either. Is there a story? Do you have like this?
Well, there is basically the story within the albums is it's a post-apocalyptic situation.
Every one of them.
Not everyone. The main
Oh.
albums. Some of the like the EPs and the split albums are something totally different.
The stuff you want to do, but your albums all have this.
All albums have this post-apocalyptic theme. Yes. So basically,
So, what if your offshoots? Are they like, yeah, everything's going great?
no, not like
Okay,
that.
it's all dark.
It's definitely as dark and miserable as possible.
All right.
And, yeah.
What life?
I know another musical group that did a post-apocalyptic or an apocalyptic themed album.
Who's that?
Rick and Steve's Fire for
Oh, you son of a bitch! We sure did.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Every
Song.
every song was about zombies without
Nice.
saying the word zombies.
It's a good record if you want to listen to it.
I will.
Oh, shoot you! If you like.
You like CDs if you got them.
Yeah, I got CDs.
We never made a CD. I was gonna put it out for free. Like Rick and I never.
CDs? What are these CDs?
Rick and I were gonna get together and like, I guess, kind of, sort of, if you will, like, mix everything nice.
Mhm.
We just never did. But that was our plan going forward. If we kept going before everybody had kids and like real jobs and shit.
I have a
Fucking
question.
Every album was gonna be about something terrible like that. They're all theme albums. They're all concept albums.
Concept, yeah.
They were going to be, but we only have one.
You know, I was gonna ask this like as a general, what the fuck is up with blank? But I just realized that you might have an answer or a defense for it. So I'm gonna direct the question to you.
Okay.
What the fuck is up with tape cassettes coming back?
Right, so I'm gonna probably say hipsters are the catalyst for that.
Because I remember them being like the worst way to listen to music.
They are pretty stupid.
They
I'm not
sound bad. They,
Yeah.
I mean,
But,
unless you have like an old car, I don't see the point.
well, my stereo
Right.
has a cassette player on it, and I do have a lot of old cassettes from when I was a kid. A lot of old thrash and death metal and stuff like that I have from back in the day. And then I hate to say it, but I have bought some cassettes recently.
Yeah. But people are putting it out there.
They're putting it out there, and I've had my own music released in cassette too. So, but the thing of it is, like, sometimes they sound like shit. But like, I had this one cassette, this label from England. They mastered the audio for cassette. I don't know how you do that, but it sounded really, really good. Like you'd never know you were actually listening to a cassette. So I don't know.
Well,
If it's done right, it's pretty effective, I
if
guess.
it's done right, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm just
Okay.
every cassette tape I ever had, like got eaten at one
Right.
point, and
I've had that
rolled it
experience
back
too.
up with a pencil.
Yeah,
And
of course, yeah.
every one you would hear it as like the ribbon would flip
Yeah.
at one point because it was in a knot.
Yeah.
So-
But
All right. So speaking of digital and analog,
yes,
I'm just going down a list of questions here that you wrote yourself.
I did not write this.
What types of tools do you use for your music? Organic, synth, digital, analog? I'm going to say all of them.
Yeah.
And field recordings.
Yeah. So it's mostly created with synthesizers.
Hey, what kind of synth do you use?
Roland Juno DI.
DI.
Yes.
What is that for? What era is
Is
that?
that like a MIDI controller? Or is that
No,
like
that's
that's
a big
synth.
fucking synthesizer.
so it creates its own sounds?
Oh yes.
Oh, it's
Well,
what year? What era is that from?
5 years old, 6 years old. Maybe.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, I got from my friend. So my friend was moving to Greenland. Yes, Greenland. And he sold me a synthesizer. I think he bought it in like 2014, so it's not too old. It was
It's not
new
too
back
old.
then. Yeah.
Okay. I hate all new Roland stuff.
Do you ever look for? You ever wish you had a 1970s organ
Yeah,
sound?
that'd be awesome. I want to get more synthesizers and crazy shit like that.
I want to lend you, I'm not giving it to you, but I want to lend you my Moog.
Oh God, please, please.
It's a Moog organ, so it's all organ sounds.
Yeah.
It doesn't do like your.
It's not a synth. It's an organ.
Yeah,
We get it.
it's
Right.
not the when you think of a Moog.
But you said organ. It's a Moog organ.
It's a Moog organ.
Yeah.
But I think you could probably do something fun with it.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, it's wonderful.
But it's mine. I'm keeping
Well,
it.
that's fine. I mean, yeah, it's great. You can definitely have it back. But
It was originally Ken Hughes.
Ooh,
Oh yeah, last name's Uskiano.
Yes.
From the epic 5-hour Christmas episode.
That's right.
I have an affinity for synths, so I just can't afford to keep that hobby up. Plus, I
Right.
don't play anymore, so I just have my two favorites, and that's it.
Yeah.
Mike
So
L.
you can't see them right now.
Mike L. says beer's been empty too long now. Seriously questioning this podcast.
Is this Oh no, that's Mike B from Whitaker. I was like,
No, this is Mike
Whitaker?
L. from Neutral Ground.
Oh,
As we affectionately call him, we used to call him Big Dumb Mike. So, I don't know if people still call
you
him.
remember the Walkie band Big Dumb Dick?
No.
Yeah, what's his name was in that band?
Yeah, that guy. I don't know anybody who was in that band.
The guy from Music Around,
Ken?
Bert.
Really?
Who was in the Buzzhorn.
He was in the Buzzmore too?
Yeah.
Holy shit! Bert's been around.
Yeah.
He had fun.
Oh, what up to Beth, Mom, and Christopher, who we are watching now.
Who? Oh, hey, what up, guys?
Hey.
Mom.
Whoa.
Oh, your mom.
My mom.
I don't think my mom knows I do this.
Well, I was going to say her first name, but I'm not allowed to call my mom by her first name.
Well, I can.
Get smacked right upside the head.
Is it Donna? Yeah, all
There
right.
you go. Nice memory.
I pulled that out of, and I think I've only met your mom once. I mean, I'm sure I've seen you interact though digitally.
Yeah, it always feels awkward when I want to tag her on Facebook because
You have to type her real name.
her whole real name, and I can't just have it say Mom. You know?
Hey, so
So.
okay, so that's the tools you use.
Well, I actually didn't totally finish it.
Oh,
no, you
So,
didn't.
so it's mostly synthesizers, but I also lots of field recordings.
Do you know D51?
No.
D1?
No.
Roland Juno
DI.
DI.
Yes. That's what I got. So
I was so far off.
I got
D1.
I got the synthesizer back in 2014. A friend of mine was moving to Greenland because he got this job to be an electrician out there.
Wow.
And he sold me this what I believe was an $800 synthesizer for like $200.
Great deal.
And as soon as I got it, I just started messing around, like kind of just making sounds and stuff like that. And pretty
fun.
6 months later, I started Noctilucant. I would say probably somewhere around.
Is this a digital synth?
Yeah.
Like there's no knobs, it's all buttons and.
There are some knobs.
Oh, there are. Okay. But it's not all knobs and sliders.
No.
Have you ever used anything like that?
No, I want to though. It'd be cool.
bring the Moog over.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I've got an old Juno 106. It's all knobs and sliders.
Nice.
It's fun. You can play with that.
Yeah.
John will bring his Moog. I'll bring that.
It
We'll watch
sounds
you do your
perfect.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got that. What else you got?
So field recordings is a big part of it. I'd like to make lots of just
What do you record with? Are you using Zoom?
It's
or-
it's this Tascam field
Okay.
recording device. I'm not
Yeah.
sure exact model number or whatever, but it picks up really good sounds.
Another monster in the
Yes.
handheld portable recording.
Yeah. And,
Well,
device edition.
Tascam makes like straight up field recorders, like where you put it over your shoulder. And
right.
Oh, that kind of-
This
yeah.
one is
Like-
was about $100, so
Oh,
but
okay.
it's really, it's really really good, perfect field.
Does it have a
recording.
dead cat or no? Does it not need it?
A dead cat?
That means no. If you just-
Well, you just might not know it. So,
Like a windscreen?
when you have
Yeah,
a
it's
windscreen, but it's
Yeah,
like
I
the
need to get one
big,
still,
it's like
actually.
the big furry one. They call them dead cats.
Right. I need to get one actually, because that's not sort of an issue if I'm out recording and it's windy. It gets
Yes.
fucked right away.
But it's kind of useless then, right? Unless you want that sound. but
Right.
nobody
That doesn't really
wants
work
sound.
out too well. So I usually try to not record on windy days, or I just need to get some sort of windscreen.
Get a dead cat.
I will get a dead cat. I have several cats at home. I could just
And then you can blame it on the bone collector.
Right.
And she'll
So-
never know.
So field recordings are a big
Actually,
part of the
gave
music.
up a long time ago listening to
And
this.
I also have stuff like a Tibetan singing bell I use.
What is a Tibetan singing bell?
Bowl.
Bowl.
You said bell. He said bell, didn't he?
It did sound like Bell, but I'm gonna believe it.
Tibetan singing bowl.
Okay, so
It's this.
Is it like a
It's an object that fits in your hand, and you basically have this mallet, and you put it
Oh,
around the bowl,
okay.
and it makes this really crazy sounds as
I
you.
know what you're talking about.
And it like when you put up the mic, you can make it just really like natural kind of ambient sound.
That's awesome.
And sometimes I'll just put it into my songs as is. Sometimes I'll put it there's a lot of post production on all my music too always.
Yeah, so you run them through a computer, and then you got all sorts of effects.
And then I put like
different
reverb,
things.
slow stuff down, echo.
That's awesome.
That's great. Bass and stuff like that.
What up, Jimmy? Who's watching on you?
Do you ever
Facebook?
Do you ever use your voice in that way? You'll record yourself just being like and then
right.
and then just edit the fuck out of it.
I have recorded actually a new album I'm working on right now has some more spoken parts on that I'm doing.
Well, I meant as more to turn them into like an instrumental, just kind of
oh yeah
in the background. Like you'd just be like
right. I have
just edit the
that's
fuck
actually
out
on this new album too. I'm doing a lot of like these like growl, just kind of like weird sounds that whatever I can come up with my voice, and then I slow it down or add reverb. And it sounds really crazy.
You ever hurt yourself doing that, trying to contort your voice, and then like, oh, I should do that again.
Right. Yeah.
Oh boy,
It's something like that. Yeah,
that sucks.
Right. I'm just like. Stuff like that, yeah. And then, but like it sounds weird when you're doing it there, but then when you slow it down, it sounds like just this really fucking demonic shit. It's really cool. But so that's voice. My voice is another. I also have a little sheepskin like hand drum I use for a little percussion. I have a rain stick.
You ever use a washboard?
I have not.
You want to?
Sure.
All right.
I actually used spoons and just kind of put them together and
Yeah, but not like Soundgarden spoons.
No, not that sounds that. That'd be cool to have that guy in an album though.
Who didn't do that in the 90s? Every now and then you're like, I got two spoons here, and then you're like, how the fuck can they fly?
How did that guy do that? Yeah, that's it's flying against the window.
Did you ever go to any like live noise shows?
Yes.
You ever see Sleepy Crick?
No, I missed that one.
A good friend of ours did. I actually have a video that I'll show you. It's he was really good at it, but he doesn't have time to do it anymore.
Peter Woods, or sometimes on Facebook he goes by Jim Stencil. I have no idea what is it.
Yeah, I'm not sure it was real. I know who he is. Yeah.
He does some noise stuff too. I just saw him last night doing vocals for Galactic Cannibal at Cactus Club. Okay. And I watched him kind of throw up while singing on stage. Like this weird yellow mucus started just draining out of bile. Because he does what I can't take credit for this. Shane came up with this, but he does something that I like to call hamburger vocals, which is just like, imagine if you ate a full mouthful of hamburger and then did like hardcore vocals. It's just like
sludge mouth.
Like all your teeth falling out.
So, anyways, it's really cool. The band is super intense, and he likes to try to like asphyxiate himself with the mic cable, and but yeah, it's just like the grossest slime started coming up out of him and just stringing down from his face, and then he started wrestling the monitors on.
Wow! All right.
Anyways,
a lot of noise bands are really crazy. They do a lot of really just totally like beat the shit out of themselves kind of stuff and all it. Yeah.
Was it the Sleepy Crick that was using was it a saw blade?
Oh yeah, lots and lots of different things. But yeah, he did.
With like a violin bow and a saw blade or something.
He was a real big fan of Einstürzende Neubauten.
Oh yes, yes.
So
Leaks the Bargeld.
Yeah. He
Leaks the Blargeld, whatever.
He traveled to see him a few times and things like that. Big fan of him.
Yes.
They were here once.
Were they?
Milwaukee once, yeah.
Damn.
I was fortunate enough to get to see him. It was
awesome.
A great show.
Awesome.
Fun time. Apples and wine, Rick. If you're watching, he's not watching. Fuck him. So how do you come up with your songs? Do they start with an emotion? Does it vary per track?
It's very improvised because I don't know the shit about actually writing real music. So usually it just starts out with me just kind of messing around, and then I just put all this stuff together until it forms something that sounds like a song, I guess.
I can relate.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously, it's kind of easy because there's like a verse, chorus, verse kind of structure to this. It's very free form. It just keeps, my start all calm and then go to something more dramatic, or might be really dramatic and get calm.
I think I heard you just say something that I just want to backtrack here. I think you said like you don't know shit about
Real music.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like that. You don't want to discredit what you're doing.
Okay.
I had the exact same like little flip. Like I wanted to be like, don't say that, man.
Well,
like that's
Yeah, I mean it's not
Well,
traditional composition.
Okay, yeah,
or something
right.
like that. Yeah.
I guess the thing of it is, a lot of like the more melodic parts I've had in my music are just sheer luck, really, because I don't really know how to play the
It's all
piano.
like okay. So
yes.
I don't know if I would call myself a good writer, but I like to write, and I was just saying this yesterday. I was saying
Well, you did publish a book.
Yeah.
Or do you mean write music?
Several albums. Yeah, I meant music.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I still stand by this. Like anytime I've ever written a melody,
One of those late ones. Oh.
Yeah, sure. They were
Yeah.
they sponsored our just September. They sponsored us actually.
September.
Like legitimately.
Stuff is. You guys had this yet?
Anal?
I have, yes.
Oh, okay.
Anal. Oh no,
Anal.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, anal.
An eye.
A nah? Yeah.
And Mexican hot chocolate ale.
Yeah.
Hey, so what were you
that's-
saying, Johnny? Oh, hey, by the way, we are at an hour. Should we maybe let the questions finish on the live
Yeah,
feed?
if anybody's got any Facebook questions, ask them now. We're going to be signing off of Facebook soon. And then the bonus material podcast will be...
Back on iTunes, motherfuckers!
Yeah, we're back on iTunes and we're on Spotify now.
Oh my god, it's the big time! Nobody's listened to it on any, but that's alright.
Well, anyways, what I was saying before was that every time I've written a melody or a chord progression like the traditional way, it's just pick a random thing. Okay, I know what that sounds like. What do I think should happen next? You know, now I have two notes.
Yeah.
Now the melody is this note and then that note.
Yeah.
Okay, so based off of those two notes, what do I think is supposed to happen next? And I'd say that like 100% of every melody and chord progression I've ever written has just been accidentally finding it.
Sure.
And I believe
yeah.
that the exact same process probably happens with ambient,
Yeah.
where you're just experimenting and you go,
It's-
that's it.
Right.
That's what it's
Yeah.
supposed to be.
Yeah.
Um,
Like, I get melodies in my head sometimes, but it's not always so easy for me to kind of, actually create it. Like, I mean, if that
I
makes
do.
sense. You do know what I mean. So,
Dude.
well,
yeah.
but
I
what
walk
about
around
the
like that all
fact
day.
that your lovely missus
yes.
is an accomplished local musician?
Yes.
You think she's going to aid some melody?
I would like her to get more involved. Yeah.
Oh shit, putting her on the spot.
I've always asked her to kind of do vocals. I mean, she has done vocals on some songs, so it's
That's cool.
Actually, one of my most popular songs has her voice on it. It's a song called "The Falling Silence." So if you want to look that one up, it's the first track on my first album, Back to the Mud. It's so far it's my most popular song. I have the video on YouTube. It has like 6,000 plays,
How long is the song?
about 2.5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
Have your songs been getting longer and longer as you go?
well,
Or you cut them like for
well,
the album?
it's always different. Some songs are like 2 minutes. Some songs have been 30 minutes.
Okay, that's got a little spice to it, by the way, and I.
Yeah, it's got a little.
Yeah.
It's got a little chili
Anyway, so
pepper.
yeah.
So yeah, it's always a little. Songs are totally different. So.
Can I?
Oh, Grandpa over here. Is it really necessary to swear, Steve?
Who said that?
Jeebus, of course.
Jeebus.
Been a thorn in our side about this whole episode.
Jeebus busts my balls like way more than I want him to.
I think he does that with
Everybody.
no. Well, yeah, maybe everybody. A few people.
He's a ball buster.
Yes, he is.
Can I ask about what she's up to, by the way?
Kara.
Yeah,
So she's doing a band now called The Mother Thing.
the mother thing.
Yeah, Mother Thing. I think it's, if I remember correctly, it's a character in some book, but I don't know what the book was or the author or anything.
Okay.
Hey, Ken.
So she's.
And how's it going, Jeremy?
So she's singing in that band and helping write songs. The band's kind of more based in Kenosha. The other members are around that area, so she rehearses out there. And the stuff for that band is sort of, I guess it's sort of a mishmash, but I guess it's kind of like doom rock, maybe would be a way to describe it.
All right, on.
Yeah, I mean it's got like some like kind of stoner jams kind of going, but then it's like just kind of more. It's just doomy kind of stuff. Yeah.
I dig it.
I asked
Yeah,
her.
what are they called? The Mother Thing. So
Like the other thing.
and I think
Mother Thing,
I don't know. I know they just got a new drummer in the band, but I think they want to record in a few months. So
Cool.
Yeah. But
I asked because I saw her perform with the Dark Clan, and I thought
Magma Dragon.
Oh, Magma Drag, which
Yeah.
was Dan from Dark
Dan,
Clan, right?
yeah,
Okay,
Dan,
that's it.
yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Wait, did you
My
just
bad.
say Magma Dragon?
Magma Dragon. was her old band.
Pretty good name.
Yeah, and that was the only time I ever saw her perform,
Yeah.
and I haven't kept up, so I don't know.
No, the band broke up a couple of years ago. Or
Probably, yeah. Every band does.
They do, yeah. They went like 3 years, and they have an unreleased album which Dan is apparently going to someday finish, but they record, I think this spring will be like 3 years since they recorded, but Dan keeps saying it's going to be...
You know who doesn't break up?
Ooh.
Solo artists.
Oh, that's right. See, that's a good thing about being a solo artist. You have no one to contend with.
That's right.
If I say fuck it, well, it's done. If, I don't know.
Well, I was going to say that in Milwaukee, I don't think anyone has... Well, no, it's not. That's a bold statement. I'm going to retract that. But how many, like, metal or rock bands do we know that have been around as long as, like, Lockjaw?
Lockjaw.
None?
Or... I bring up Once the Sun because they've been around for, like, I want to say at least 11 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, or about.
Like all the same members?
No,
Oh.
a couple members different now. But yeah. No,
That's true. Yeah,
Every
not many last very long. Couple, 3-4 years about the length. Yeah.
I think it's like, you know, when like a band is like like you're dating somebody, and it's like fun at first, and then you find out that it's not always fun all the time, and then as soon as like a band gets to that first like not fun, the honeymoon is over kind of thing,
Yeah.
like then the band just breaks up.
Well, on that high note, Ken says, hey!
Hey, Ken.
Because I said, hey. So, okay. Does your music ever contain personal anger or emotions? Does it help to deal with certain feelings?
Absolutely. It's very, very therapeutic to create. And that's not just music, that's anything. It's very therapeutic. At least for me. I mean, I can't speak for every artist, but for me it helps me deal with depression, anger, anything I'm feeling.
That's good.
Yeah. Because, I mean, the alternative is murder, basically. You know?
The alternative is you and the Bone Collector.
Right, me and the Bone Collector getting together and starting this whole homicide and serial killer thing,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah. So.
Don't do that. Keep
Well,
creating.
that's
man.
why I'm going to keep creating,
Keep creating.
so I don't have to be part of the Bone Collector. Right.
I'm curious, like with ambient, just because of the way the structure is. How do you know when the song is done?
Good points.
Like, because I'd just be like, well, traditionally it'd be like, well,
You said
I've done the chorus twice in a row
Right.
now, and we're past the bridge, so I guess it's over. now.
That's a good point. I don't necessarily know, because, like I said, some songs are 2 minutes and some songs are 30 minutes.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So, I guess I just kind of feel like, I don't know, like, it usually starts out with like this, like improvise, like the first piece is usually something longer, and then just I kind of like, you know, write stuff over that. So then if that first piece happens to be, we'll say 12 minutes, well, the song's gonna be probably about 12 minutes in. You know, I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question, but I don't necessarily have a good answer.
No, that's cool. I'm just gonna check on Facebook real quick, see if anybody's asked any more questions,
Okay.
and then I think what we'll do
Oh.
is sign off our Facebook feed.
Oh, Buried Alive in Mud, Infant says.
Huh?
What?
I don't know, he just typed it, Buried Alive in Mud.
That's your album, right?
Yeah.
That's one of my EPs. Yeah.
I don't know, he just brought it up.
Ask him. I don't know.
Yeah, what about it, Infant? I'll type it. What about it? What about it? Okay.
This is a spicy ass beer.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I like it.
Good.
Yeah, it's got some bite to it.
You
Hell,
know,
heat.
every time I try a beer, I always go, it stings. And Steve's like, shut up, it doesn't sting.
You don't
This
do it
one-
every time.
This one has like the long con sting to it.
Mhm.
The long con sting?
Well, because it doesn't sting the way like acidic,
These are, we got,
you know.
I do. The long con, burn. 2 important questions we should get to here before we sign off. There's a third one, but I don't. Do you meditate? Yes or no?
Do I what?
Do you meditate?
I've tried it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, have you or would you like to play live, and for what? And for what type of event?
So this is something I have been thinking about more and more. The only issue I've been kind of facing is that my music's so multi-layered that I feel like a lot of it would have to be on a backup tape kind of thing, you know?
So
Or
you'd
or
be like
computer.
Skrillex
Oh,
with
yeah.
the knob.
And then I would basically like just have to kind of like maybe just like play like some piano melodies over like a lot of
There's
stuff.
nothing wrong with that.
I mean, it would. That's how a lot of dark
Yeah.
ambient. If you watch the videos of these guys, it's a lot of how it is really.
That's probably not just dark ambient. There's probably a lot of other-
Right. It probably has a lot of other electronic based music too. Right.
What are you gonna do? Yeah.
So.
Especially if you're a solo
Yeah.
out there. You can't.
So I'm thinking more and more about it. I think if I do it, it'll probably just be something simple like opening for my girlfriend's band or something like that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. I mean, I'll probably, people will probably be sitting there like, what the fuck is this? But that's fine, whatever. It'll be an experience, and when you play live, you
That'll
gotta
be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So-
what the fuck is this reaction is better than the they just talked to each other and didn't pay attention reaction?
Well, that's my other worry is that people would just sit there talking there, or just Facebook and
yeah,
and
there's no
long.
getting around that.
Right.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
computer
As
trigger.
far as events, I don't know. There's no dark ambience in Wisconsin. I
But
don't
could you
know
hop
any.
on like the noise shows?
I could hop on
Yeah.
the noise shows. There are some of those going on here and there. Yeah, that would definitely fit into that crowd. So
You should yeah, do that. Get on a noise show.
okay, cool. I will do it.
We'll come to you.
Cool. I'm gonna do it.
Very cool.
Make
Oh,
sure
should
you
we-
let us know.
Oh yeah, we got
And-
the third ad.
And oh yeah, are there things you like or dislike about the dark experimental industrial scene? That is a loaded question.
Ooh.
With dark experimental and industrial thrown in
Yeah,
there?
yeah, we're throwing a lot in there. So, yeah, I mean, I think music scenes in general are, there's always good things and bad things. But generally speaking, I found at least the dark ambient community to be very friendly and very inviting. And
That's good.
I mean, like, if I want to collaborate with someone, usually all it takes is for me to send them a message and
What you're describing this kind of reminds me of the craft beer world.
yeah, it's
Like
very
they're competing, but they're also like
it's very
Sister.
friendly. And
You know
I've
what I mean?
made,
Yeah.
over time, I've made, a lot of friends just, and if I want to ask someone to do a collaborative song or guest on one of my albums, they're always open to it. And some of these people that I ask are, these are guys that have been doing this stuff for 10, 15 years, and some of these guys are kind of established names, and there's no arrogance, there's no, they're all really humble dudes,
yeah,
so.
like, not like you're not good enough yet.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
some maybe like I wouldn't be able to collaborate with like Lustnord, which is like probably the biggest dark ambient.
Have you tried?
No, I haven't. But it's worth a shot, I suppose. But
Yes,
I
it
don't
is.
think he would even reply to my email. But whatever. But all the other guys, they're always really open to collaborations and stuff like that. So it's a really great community. A lot of friends.
Yeah.
People have just sent me their albums, and I've sent them my albums. Just doing CD trades and stuff like that.
That's
So
cool.
really friendly stuff.
I recently sent an email to the office of Michelle Obama asking if she would come on our podcast.
Oh.
I did this specifically because it seemed unattainable.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, shoot for the stars, man.
I mean, what can you lose?
Right.
You should also
that is a
ask-
good point. Yeah.
There's
For
nothing.
President Barack Obama, you should have Joe Biden.
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
you can ask-
Michelle's got her new book out, and I
Yeah.
just thought, when you're trying to plug something, you do like the.
why haven't you asked Henry
Tell me-
Rollins to come on?
I don't know. I guess there's an infinite number of people I could ask.
Yeah, let's start doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, somebody will bite eventually, right?
Yes, the more you send out, the more chance we have of somebody coming to, when they're passing through. Like, yeah, all right, I'll go to this fucking idiot's basement.
Well,
in the middle
I
of nowhere.
posted a tweet and I said, part of my brain was like, this is impossible, don't even try. And then the other part of my brain was like, but if you don't ask, you never know.
Yeah.
Maybe you just ask and maybe they say yes. And it was kind of a conflicting thing. And I thought, in the end, I don't remember where I was going with this.
We're gonna start sending out emails to all these people.
Dude,
Oh, yeah.
you guys should
So,
totally.
so Buried in Mud, 30 minutes. I think that's what he probably wrote that when we were talking about
Yes.
how long your songs are. 30
Yes.
minutes.
Yeah, that's one of my. That was the EP I
Is
released.
that the longest song you've done?
Yes, I think so. Yeah. Well, the interesting thing about that particular song is that it's basically all of the songs from my first album, Back to the Mud. They've just been stretched and malformed to form this
Oh, so it's almost
one big apocalyptic beast of a
it's almost
song.
like a remix.
Yes, basically. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All the songs, I think 13 songs in that first album, all put into one song.
See, that's what when you said how long your song was, like 2 minutes. I was wondering if, like, when you wrote this, it was just one long. You could like to call it kind of cinematic.
Yeah.
If you do this as one long block in your head as you're going, like it is, you seeing it hearing it.
Yeah.
And then you chop it up for an album.
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily. No.
Okay.
No.
That was a really, really long way to get to the answer to that question I had for you earlier that I never asked.
Right.
Should we read this final ad before we sign off of Facebook? And
Yeah, we should.
Once we're off Facebook, we can get to the juicy stuff.
Oh,
Ooh,
good.
with the
I love
sexy
juicy.
parts.
Yeah. Do you want to do the every other line thing?
Yeah, sure. You want me to start this one?
Yeah, you start it.
Who are we to podcast here for nuclear weapons?
Do you ever feel like this is a global... Nah, I screwed up already.
1, 2, 3. Who are we to podcast here for nuclear weapons?
Do you ever feel like this global mess isn't going to get any better? Can't blame you.
Let's face it, things are not going well. But there's good news. The white hot truth of nuclear death.
We're starting over.
All of us will be... What were you saying, Johnny?
We're starting over.
All of us will be... I should say, I haven't read this before. One more time.
We're starting over.
All of us... All of us will be reduced to our atomic building blocks, and the world will be repopulated by highly evolved cat people. And none of them will give a shit about Jesus, a la the Kardashian, or who's going to pay for all these goddamn school lunches.
Join us as we do the honorable thing and rid the earth of ourselves.
Say it with me. Nuclear! Nuclear! Nuclear weapons in 19... Oh wait, that wasn't part of it.
Oh.
Nuclear weapons
As in
in
the-
2019.
Whatever. Can I get a nuclear?
Nuclear.
Nuclear. Should we do it again? Let's switch this time.
Pronounced nuclear.
Yeah, let's switch. Alright.
Who are we to podcast here for nuclear weapons?
Do you ever feel like this global mess isn't going to get any better? Can't blame you.
Let's face it, things are not going well. But there's good news. The white hot truth of nuclear death.
We're starting over!
All of us will be reduced to our atomic building blocks, and the world will be repopulated by highly evolved cat people. And none of them will give a shit about Jesus, Allah, the Kardashians, or who's going to pay for all these goddamn school lunches.
Join us as we do the honorable thing and rid the earth of ourselves.
Nuclear weapons in 2019. That's not in the script.
Whatever.
We could
I
add...
was really dating it by putting the Kardashians in here.
Are they still a thing?
You're asking the wrong guy.
I don't know.
If they're not making sex tapes, I don't know. And on that note, let's end the Facebook Live.
Yeah. And to keep on listening, make sure you go on iTunes, Spotify, whatever Android people use, and you know, just listen to the goddamn thing.
Thank you very much, Joseph.
www.whoarewetopodcast.com.
My ears red? They're really red, aren't they?
They're red.
Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
Red ears.
Oh, oops.
Thank you, Joe, for coming on.
Pleasure.
Just fucking hit finish. It's not finished.